Why are we here? Because we all experienced since early 2020 an unprecedented excess and abuse of power of governments at the same time all over the world. They did what they did under the leadership of the World Health Organization under the pretext of a perpetuated war against a virus. Almost all countries in Europe participated, and they participated in a perpetuated pandemic regime of restrictions ever and ever extended, but never proven by scientific methods. Scientific best practice standards and fundamental human rights were totally put aside. Freedom of movement, self-determination, bodily autonomy, free speech, free information, economic freedoms, and most sadly, human dignity. No chance for a defense against this excess of power. No effective judicial control. I had to experience that with many of my fellow lawyers in the past 3 years. Every case anew, we had the hope to actually make the judges consider the legally relevant facts, but we failed. In none of the many court cases, judges were willing to listen. Now, and even no parliament in Europe until these days called its government back to reason, back to normal, even until these days. And what otherwise would be considered the normalest thing to do, a global basic standard of quality management, meaning a serious reassessment in order to learn from the past for the future, that seems doesn't to exist anymore under WHO's COVID pandemic. And under this regime, millions of people and also the economy suffered from useless and harmful countermeasures. People were forced into millions of days of quarantine, isolation, masks, regular testing, restriction, and so on and so on. Even children had to do and to suffer all of this. But most significantly, experimental substances were pushed under people's skin. And just thanks to the most powerful marketing campaign ever promoted in history by governments and health authorities, with the slogan, "No one is safe until everybody is vaccinated," the public was made believe that there is no alternative and that these new technology-based vaccines were highly effective and safe. The public was misled, and the results can today be seen. Now, this is the most dangerous aspect in the past 3 years. It was the violation of the integrity of our body, our right of self-determination to make our own choice regarding what kind of medication we want to apply. And we want to do it based on accurate and correct information. And this is why we are here today. There was no protection of this most personal and most vulnerable aspect of our life in the past, and there will be no in the future if we don't act today. Even less protection, because now WHO is about to finalize its ultimate extension of power, and instead of looking back and correcting the errors and give back the power of free competition of science, they continue with even a stricter power grab. And the European Commission has established a series of regulations and even a small agency, pandemic agency called HERA, as the junior partner of WHO. And just recently, some weeks ago, we have learned about the digital COVID certificates. Now, today, these brave 7 European citizens from 7 different EU countries have decided to take action with this instrument of the European Citizens' Initiative. This initiative allows EU citizens to directly participate in EU legislation and in policy making. And under such an initiative, European citizens can invite the European Commission to take action in areas where the Commission has the power to legislate. Now, with this ECI, the abbreviation, these brave European citizens do request the Commission to adopt a comprehensive set of legal acts that recognize and strengthen the protection of individual sovereignty and responsibility for all decisions that impact individuals and their children, including medical choices. These principles are grounded in the fundamental rights of human dignity and integrity in many different conventions, among others, not only in the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European People. Article 3 reads, "Everyone has the right to respect for his and her physical and mental integrity in the fields of medicine and biological. The following must be respected, in particular, the free and informed consent." And free and informed consent means that it's based on true and accurate information. And there are many other conventions. I spare you with the list, but just as a small hint, the United Nations has issued a series of relevant, supportive, and very important conventions. But one is of particular importance in this respect, and this is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, concluded in 1966, because in its Article 7, it says no one shall be subjected without his free consent to medical and scientific experimentation, and this even applies in times of public emergency which threatens the life of the nation and the existence of which is officially proclaimed. So this is mandatory international law and must be respected and shall be put into this initiative as a driving factor. Now, this is a small first step, but it is an important one. And it will be a first important step to defend our right of self-determination and to say no to every power that ignores personal integrity, and to defend the right to decide what we want to have in our body and in the body of our children. It shall be also seen as a start of a wider campaign across Europe and the world to finally establish and foster public debate and public awareness of the ever more restrictive, authoritarian, and totally anti-democratic global development of WHO. Together, we will restore democracy. We will bring back human rights and human dignity to our countries and bring those who tried to abolish all of these principles and values to justice. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Maria Hubmer-Mock. I'm a medical doctor and mother from Austria. And over the past years, I became an activist. Lockdowns for the unvaccinated and mandatory vaccination in my home country showed me how fast steps can be set by the people in power. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the MEPs for their bravery and for taking a stand against the draconian measures over the past years. And I want to thank my fellow colleagues here that bring in the initiative. I want to thank today's speakers. All these messages should set a clear sign throughout the world that a change towards a brighter future is definitely possible if we unite in our efforts. The Great Awakening is happening worldwide. And yes, I also refer to a film here that had its premiere recently, showing in-depth knowledge of some of today's speakers. Over the last years, I've been in contact with so many different people in various organizations worldwide. It is clear that it is within human nature that we cannot always be of the same opinion in details, and we do not have to. But we can be so immensely strong if we find the smallest common denominator as a basis of incredible, effective work. I urge people to open their eyes to the potential threat and the future harms to our lives and liberties. I want to encourage all people of all different walks of life to stand with us, to sign the European Citizen Initiative once set free for the signature process, if you are from a European member state, or to start similar action on your own continent. Furthermore, I kindly ask our fellow human beings from around the world to join efforts to expose the power grab from entities which are not elected by the citizens and who are definitely not working for the greater good of the people. I encourage people to step outside the process of mass psychosis into a state of individual resilience that automatically will lead into a big, resilient crowd. Here we go. Reach out to your regional communities and politicians. Make them aware of what is happening. The ECI will help to encourage people to take action. We are many, and we will be so many more soon. I want to bring up a quote by J. Edward Griffin. He said that any change in history has been made by the 10 to 15%. We are, by now, way more already. We have reached the critical mass. People from all walks of life are invited to join forces, because now is the time for the inspirers of change, the planters of seeds and the bringers of truth, for the independent media that has the courage to break through, for the filmmakers that reveal the lies to free our minds, for the singer-songwriters and poets to write and sing of freedom and liberty, for the artists to create a new picture of the world, for the scholars of law who uphold honesty and integrity, for the wisdom of the healers, teachers and guides who remind us that the truth is in sight if we only look and see. Now is the time to see that the light is more powerful than the darkness could ever be, and nurture our resilience deep within. Independent media is a key factor and so important. Thank you to all media outlets. Thank you to the independent media for spreading crucial information and to report on today's initiation event. I also want to remind us all that yesterday, on July 3rd, was Julian Assange's birthday. We sent Julian our best wishes, and I want to quote Goethe, who said, "The living should hope." We need to raise the volume on the sound of freedom in so many areas. And I want to end my speech with the invitation to every person out there to watch out for a film that is based on a true story with this exact title, The Sound of Freedom, that has its premiere today on July 4th. And please save the date. We warmly invite people from all over Europe and from throughout the world to come to our Europe for Trust and Freedom rally to the city of Vienna in Austria on October 1st, 2023. It will be wonderful to experience the feeling of unity at such a big in-person live event. And you will find further information on our webpage, theeuci.info. Thank you so much.
And hopefully this will now spread with the hashtag Trust and Freedom. And we know we're already seeing people contacting us via our website and through the media. So really, we would really appreciate for everybody to share that and spread that information about the ECI and what happened here today. Thank you.